We're recording boots on the ground at DragonCon 2017. This is a massive, massive convention. It is not for the faint of heart or the weak of stature.
Definitely not for the faint of heart. It's chaos, but it's controlled chaos, it's fun chaos, and it's 100% awesome. Stan Lee is amazing. We just finished doing the Q&A session with him.
Cosplayers, this is your mecca. The story of DragonCon is not just a story of which panel you saw and which guest you got an autograph from. It's actually the experience of being here.
Alrighty, guys, we know who you're here for. Believe it or not, this is Stan's final appearance here at DragonCon, so I'm glad you made it into the room. Without any further ado, the king of cameos, the father of our imagination, a global treasure, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Stan Lee! I love coming here. Woohoo! I hate no appearance. I hate fake news. Just save me a place next year. Okay, now that we've done that, it was great seeing you. How you doing, Dad? Okay. Yeah, good to see you. You look incredible. Good to be seen. Well, I happen to be incredible looking. I'm already brown, just so you know. Okay, anyway. All right, where are our question locations? Because we have lights in our eyes. So, okay, there's one guy. If you guys have any questions for Mr. Lee, you're going to line up in that direction. Do we have anyone on the other side? There we go. Down the aisle and on that side. If you guys have questions, this is going to be a very quick panel, so we're going to try and get through everything imaginable. Sir, thank you so much for bringing everything to us in fandom. If it wasn't for comic books, if it didn't start out with Thor or Iron Man or Captain America, a lot of us would not be here today. It's all because of you. We really, really love you for that. And well, you should. You should. I don't understand why a guy like me even has to pay taxes. You're right, you're a national treasure, and I'm sure they're working on that. So you can put in a good word for me, because I hate paying taxes as well. Alrighty, let's go ahead and open this up with some questions, and we'll keep on talking along the way. We're going to start. I knew it would get tough questions now. Just when I was having fun. Alright, here we go. Alright, we're going to start with the side of the room here. We can't see you because of the lights in our eyes, but we can hear you. Go for it.
Yes, hello, sir. I want to thank you for my childhood, first of all. You made me the geek I am today.
Well, that's very nice. Send me money.
Okay. I did. Most of my allowance throughout my entire childhood.
Okay, I owe you.
I know your creations are like your children, but I have to ask, do you have a favorite child?
Spider-Man! See, I get that question often, so now I've got the answer ready. All right, thank you. Let's go over to the other side of the room here. Where are you? Go for it.
Sir, once again, just like that dude, thank you very much for all that you've given us. My question to you is, we know Spider-Man's your favorite. Who do you like the least?
Who do you like the least? Spider-Man's your favorite. Who do you like the least?
Superman. Although, that isn't really true.
Superman was the first and started all of these. And I think that those two guys deserve a lot of credit for having created them.
Absolutely. Mutual respect. I like that. That's fantastic. Don't believe you, but yeah. How you doing?
So I just want to say that speaking of Superman, I want to ask, what was it like if you ever met the person who created DC's comics? Did you have like any banter between each other, like who you think would win in a fight, or like what was it like when you first met the person who made DC comics, you know, compared to you who made Marvel?
Could you summarize that?
No, I can't. I couldn't make it out either. Where'd he go, sir? What was it like to meet the creators of DC characters? Is that basically
the person who created DC Comics? I was asking, what was it like for you to meet them, Stanley?
What was it like to meet
Or him, Stanley?
I met them years later. In fact, Jerry Siegel, who wrote the Spider-Man, Superman, I hired him to work for us for a while because the company for whom he had created Superman had let him go, believe it or not. So we hired him and he worked in our office for a while. This is when I was in New York. But then he had to move out to the coast because I think his wife had some sort of illness and needed the air on the coast. So I lost him then. He was a nice guy, and I just think that he should have been more rewarded for having come up with Superman, but hey, that's the breaks.
Hey Stan, getting into people you have hired in the past, Jack Kirby just celebrated his 100th birthday last Monday. And I'm sure he was an employer or employee of yours as well. What do you know more about Jack?
Jack Kirby was simply the greatest. I gave him the nickname Jack King Kirby, but it should have been his name. He could take any story and make it look exciting, intelligent, and you wanted to read every panel and turn to the next page. Jack Kirby was really, in comics, he was the equivalent of the best film director you could ever find. There are a lot of people in the business who draw well. Jack not only drew magnificently, but he positioned his characters perfectly in every panel, just the way a movie director positions his actors for every scene. Jack was so good. I used to watch him draw. He drew as though he was tracing a drawing that already was there. I mean, he'd put the lines in, and then go to the next one, and the next one. Now, the average artist draws something, and then maybe changes it a little, or moves it along. Not Jack. He drew a line, that was it. It was perfect. He knew it was perfect, and he went on to the next line. I loved watching him work, and he was also a terrific guy. That was Jack Kirby.
That's the man. Hi, on this side of the room.
Hi. Out of all of the characters you've created, which best represents you?
What represents me? What character best represents you?
Hugh Hefner.
Tony Stark.
Yeah.
He's handsome, he's intelligent. I don't know, they all represent me, damn it, I made them up.
Tony Stark.
The Hulk especially.
You should see when I really flex up.
He said I can see when he really flexes up. Okay. This side.
Hey Stan, I know you're a very creative guy, and I was wondering what kind of stories you like to tell.
Good stories. I don't care what kind it is. As long as it's well written, exciting, and I want to turn the page, and as long as I can believe in the characters. For example, one of my favorites when I was young was Sherlock Holmes. Now, he wasn't a superhero the way we have superheroes, but he knew someone who was so smart, smarter than anyone else. he could look at you and tell where you'd been and what you'd been doing with little clues. And I love that. I love a character that's different and better than most of the other characters. So whether it's a detective story or a superhero story or a humor story or a romance, I don't care. But I want the characters to be as interesting as hell.
And you did that. You started that with Spider-Man. You basically changed the industry. It was no longer like, here I am to save the day kind of stuff. It was like, oh my God, what am I going to do with my life today? And this guy was a superhero.
He knows Spider-Man better than I do.
He could have been black.
He probably will be before you know it. We're making every other change.
Moving on. Okay.
Hey, where do you see the Black Panther?
I saw the Black Panther.
I mean the movie.
Oh, the movie. Okay, yeah. I just knew he was black. I didn't know he did the movie. Okay. And speaking of course, you're the king of cameos, as I mentioned before, and you haven't stopped being in every Marvel movie imaginable. Can you tell us a little bit of your role in Black Panther? I have money.
In Black Panther, I play a very serious guy. I'm standing at a bar, and the black... No, you know something I'm not supposed to... Sorry. I can't tell you. You gotta see the movie. No, you tricked me. I'm not allowed to tell. What? No, I'm not allowed to tell.
We have to take a collection within the room in order to get that kind of information out of it. All right, but we're really looking forward to that. Where's our next question? I think we're on this side, right? Hi.
Hey, I was just wondering, well, I'm asking you. Before Spider-Man, who was the very first concept you came up with in the Marvel Universe?
Believe it or not, I don't remember. Oh, wait a minute. No, I do remember. The Fantastic Four. They were the first. I modeled the thing after me.
Here we go. Okay, all righty. Fantastic Four. Yes, hi.
This is actually more of a request than a question. If you look around Dragon Con, you will notice that there are a lot of us who are 2X, 3X, 4X, and larger. And there seems to be a deficiency of superheroes that would allow us to cosplay.
Not enough people.
Would you be willing to use some influence to correct this superhero oversight?
I'm assuming that's you, right?
I'm one of us. We are many, and we're large.
Kevin Smith is the director and writer of Clerks years ago, which was my first big starring role. He used to be very overweight, and I remember once they wanted him to pay for 2 tickets on an airplane when he got on for his seat. He lost some weight, now he can get on a plane and sit in one seat, so he's all right. I don't know how to answer your question because I think we could have some overweight characters as interesting incidental characters in the story, but I don't know that we want to encourage kids to eat a lot so that they become overweight, because I don't think that would be doing a good thing for most of the kids. So there should be, comics like all stories should represent all types of people. And of course, there should be overweight characters. Should be skinny characters like me. There should be short, tall, bald-headed, everything. And if we have been derelict in having overweight characters, I apologize. And we will try to add more to the series.